Welcome to the Risk Wheelhouse, the podcast where we navigate the ever-changing seas of risk management and technology. Join your hosts, Ori Wellington and Sam Jones, as they steer you through the latest trends, insights, and strategies shaping the future of integrated risk management. Ready to chart a course towards success? Hop aboard and let's set sail into today's deep dive.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are starting today with some news out of the risk technology sector that is truly raising eyebrows. And frankly, it's causing a lot of confusion for leaders who are, trying to navigate their vendor landscape.
It really is.
The 2025 Gartner Magic Quadrant for Governance, Risk, and Compliance, GRC, it just got released. And if you're tracking this market, you know that the MQ is usually this highly dynamic document. There's always movement.
Especially in the Visionaries quadrant.
Exactly. But this year, for the very first time, the entire Visionaries quadrant is, it's empty.
Just blank.
It's the equivalent of a loud, industry-wide silence. In a market worth billions, an empty Visionaries quadrant suggests one of two things. Either innovation has completely stalled out,
Or something else is going on.
or the market structure itself has fundamentally shifted. And we believe it's the latter. This signals a critical turning point for how organizations approach enterprise risk.
That structural shift is exactly what we need to unpack. Our mission today is to understand why this stillness happened and why it's actually, a sign of maturity, not stagnation.
Okay.
So we're going beyond just the surface vendor stuff. We're leveraging insights from the Risk Tech Journal and, critically, the framework from Wheelhouse Advisors' IRM Navigator model and their vendor compass for GRC.
And what's the core idea we need to get?
The core insight to grasp immediately is this: deliberate strategic narrowing of GRC's scope.
A narrowing.
Yes, versus the necessary expansion of integrated risk management, or IRM.
Okay, let's unpack that concept of narrowing, because the context, it starts right there with the title of the new MQ itself.
It does.
It's titled, For GRC Tools, Assurance Leaders. That is a massive qualifier.
It is a giant flashing neon sign. It signals Gartner's acceptance of market reality. That GRC is no longer being positioned as that sprawling, unifying category for all governance, risk, and compliance activities across the entire enterprise.
Which was the original promise, right, back in the mid-2000s.
That was the ambitious promise. The market has now dictated that GRC has to specialize.
So when we talk about GRC specializing, what functional area does it own now? What are these assurance leaders actually using these tools for?
They're using it to build institutional maturity and consistency. GRC has really specialized into the set of tools focused entirely on enabling internal audit, ethics, internal control programs, and compliance.
Okay.
Essentially, GRC delivers the verification layer of the modern risk technology stack.
The verification layer.
Right. It provides traceability, repeatability, and confidence in your compliance evidence. Think of GRC as the meticulous archivist. It's all about answering the retrospective question.
Did we do what we said we would do?
Exactly. Did we follow the rule? And can we prove it with an auditable trail? That's GRC's job.
That makes the strategic distinction incredibly clear. GRC is fundamentally about verification proving assurance after the fact.
Looking backward, yes.
But if an organization needs to answer the question, how are we prepared for the future? Or how does this control failure impact our strategic resilience? That's beyond GRC's mandate.
That moves right into the realm of IRM. Precisely. GRC emerged with this promise of unification. But as the source material points out, by the mid-2010s, organizations realized something.
What was that?
While they centralized all this control data, the GRC tools themselves, they really struggled to provide meaningful integration with performance management or strategic decision-making.
Right. It stayed in its silo.
It settled into its most successful role, the hub of assurance, this new MQ title. It just codifies that stability.
Which brings us back to that empty visionary quadrant. I think for a skeptical listener, it still sounds like we're putting a positive spin on vendor inertia. If nobody's innovating, isn't that just a failure?
Not at all. And this is where it gets really interesting. If you study technology adoption cycles, in market maturity models, the absence of visionaries, it actually signals the completion of the first innovation cycle. GRC has done its job. It has reached a stage of functional completeness and optimization, just like ERP or core HR systems did years ago.
So the basics are all sorted out now.
Exactly. The core capabilities, policy management, control testing, issue remediation, reporting, they're all standardized. They're stable. They're widely available across all the leading platforms.
So differentiation isn't about some flashy new feature anymore.
Nope. It relies on integration, reliability, and scale.
So GRC has matured into a foundational utility. It's like the electricity or the plumbing in a modern building. You don't need radical visionary innovation for how the pipes work.
You just need them to work.
You just need them to be reliable, standardized, and safe, so you can then layer the smart, connected technology on top of it.
That is the perfect analogy. And because that foundation is stable, the innovation energy hasn't stalled, it has simply transferred.
Transferred where?
It's a transfer of innovation energy. From GRC, the stability layer, to IRM, which is the higher order management layer that unites that assurance with forward-looking strategy, performance, and resilience.
And that distinction, who the tool is designed for, is so crucial. We mentioned the Gartner MQ is explicitly for assurance leaders.
Yes.
But you're suggesting that risk leaders, the executives who are responsible for strategic decision support, they need a much broader view.
Absolutely. The MQ is invaluable for the audit and compliance community, no question. However, if your job title is Chief Risk Officer, or you're managing risk at the executive level,
Which means connecting all the dots.
Constantly correlating compliance with business continuity and performance outcomes, you need a framework that manages risk, not just governs it.
And that is why the perspective offered by the Wheelhouse Advisors IRM Navigator is so important right now. It's designed specifically for that risk leader.
Precisely. The IRM Navigator sees IRM as the encompassing market. It integrates GRC along with Enterprise Risk Management, or ERM,
And ORM and TRM.
Operational Risk Management, and Technology Risk Management. This framework is explicitly structured to manage risk, to connect that verifiable assurance data to strategic outcomes and...
Are you ready to see risk management in action? At Wheelhouse Advisors, we've launched a new YouTube channel dedicated to integrated risk management. You'll find quick explainers, insights from our IRM Navigator research reports, highlights from the Risk Journal, and conversations from the Risk Wheelhouse podcast. We're covering the topics that matter most to executives and risk leaders, from AI governance and cyber insurance to operational resilience and regulatory change. Every video is designed to help you anticipate risks, adapt with confidence, and build resilience in a digital-first world. In our first video, we explain how ISO 42001, the EU AI Act, and the NIST AI Risk Management Framework can work together as a unified playbook for AI risk. Subscribe today at youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv and get the latest insights delivered directly to you. That's youtube.com/@wheelhouseadv. Subscribe now and stay ahead of the risks that matter most.
Anticipation.
So what's fascinating here is the relationship you're describing.
Yeah.
GRC isn't a parallel market to IRM. You're saying it's embedded within it.
It is embedded within it. GRC provides the essential component for assurance and compliance. If you're a risk leader trying to integrate all these disciplines into a coherent enterprise view, the IRM Navigator is the perspective you need. It helps you understand how the foundational GRC tools fit into the larger strategic picture.
So IRM is finally fulfilling that original promise of unification that the standalone GRC platforms focused on compliance, they just couldn't deliver a decade ago.
That's the mandate. It's taking that centralized control data GRC provides and connecting it to the big picture. And we can use the IRM Navigator model, specifically the PRAC objectives, to show how it all fits.
The PRA objectives.
The model shows that enterprise confidence requires all four components to be managed holistically.
Okay, let's walk through that PRAC framework because it really does illustrate how the stability GRC provides is used by the higher level functions of IRM.
Okay, so we start with the P for performance.
Performance.
This is defined by Enterprise Risk Management, or ERM. It ensures risk management is tied directly to the organization's strategy and goals. It answers the question, how does this risk affect our shareholder value or our market position?
Right, the big picture stuff.
Next is the R for resilience. This is driven by Operational Risk Management, ORM. This is all about maintaining business continuity, adaptive capacity, managing risks in your day-to-day processes, your supply chain.
And then we get to A and C,
Assurance and compliance.
which are the foundational pillars where GRC platforms are strongest.
That's the core GRC delivery. Assurance validates control integrity and effectiveness, proving the controls are working. And compliance is where the GRC tools codify all your internal policies and external regulatory obligations.
So GRC provides the proof.
It provides the verifiable action and accountability that underpins the entire structure.
And it's critical to note, since pretty much every organization is technology-driven now, the sources emphasize that technology risk management, TRM, is woven throughout this whole thing.
Correct. It's not a separate pillar. TRM is the binding agent.
How so?
It connects systems of control, the GRC layer, to the systems of execution. And escalating risk in your cloud environment isn't just an IT issue.
No, it hits everything.
It immediately degrades your resilience, the R, exposes you to potential compliance fines, the C, and hurts your strategic performance, the P. IRM unites all four objectives into one model of enterprise confidence.
Now, this shift requires a new capability that kind of blends GRC's strengths in documentation with IRM's forward-looking analytics. What is that capability?
That future capability is being called assurance intelligence.
Assurance intelligence.
It represents the continuous correlation of compliance, control, and risk data for decision impact. It moves assurance from being a static, periodic, retrospective reporting function.
Right, a report you file every quarter.
Into a dynamic, embedded verification mechanism that actually informs daily operations.
Can you give us a concrete example of that? I mean, how does assurance intelligence change the job of a risk leader?
Certainly. A GRC platform tells you, we audited all 50 of our critical firewalls last quarter and 48 passed. That's verification.
Okay.
Assurance Intelligence takes that fact and correlates it instantly with current operational data. It says, those two firewall failures, combined with the fact that we just accelerated our cloud migration by 30%,
Wow.
and have seen a 15% increase in phishing alerts, means our operational resilience score just dropped from green to yellow. It requires immediate strategic intervention. That's anticipation.
I see. It turns control evidence into real-time business insight.
Exactly. It leverages GRC's stability for predictive analytics.
So what does this whole tectonic shift mean for the strategic direction of GRC investment going forward?
It means GRC is cementing its role as essential infrastructure. It's moving toward a position that resembles, standardized, highly reliable systems like core accounting or financial reporting.
It's foundational to enterprise trust.
It is. And this means the investment focus is moving away from features and toward integration, standardization, and automation.
And the sources suggest that GRC's newfound stability, which is exemplified by that empty visionary quadrant, is actually a necessary prerequisite for the next, much bigger wave of transformation.
It absolutely is. The stillness we see in GRC in 2025 is not an endpoint. It's a necessary pause to establish stability.
You need that solid ground first.
Without verifiable controls, defensible audit trails, and consistent compliance evidence, which GRC platforms excel at providing, any kind of autonomous decision-making in risk environments would be completely reckless.
So that stability is the required foundation for the next wave, which we're hearing referred to as autonomous control ecosystems.
Yes, the forecast is that GRC assurance data will be the essential evidence backbone for AI agents.
The evidence backbone.
By 2032, the prediction is that over half of enterprise assurance functions will be executed automatically. GRC platforms will provide the verified control state, and IRM systems, powered by Assurance Intelligence, will allow AI agents to perform continuous control testing and automated remediation.
So GRC doesn't get replaced.
Not at all. Its foundational function will be absorbed and executed automatically within these larger unified IRM and enterprise workflow platforms.
That's a powerful conclusion. The future of risk management isn't post-GRC, but rather beyond GRC.
Well said.
It's where that foundational assurance data, the predictive risk intelligence, and strategic performance outcomes all converge within a truly unified architecture.
And that unified architecture is integrated risk management. The market has finally matured enough for the strategic shift to really take hold.
That structural distinction is critical for any leader trying to budget for or invest in the future of risk technology. If you are looking to manage risk, not just govern it, we highly recommend exploring the resources that take this strategic IRM-centric view. To explore this integrated architecture further and to understand how vendors align with the strategic integrated risk management approach, beyond just assurance, you can access the comprehensive GRC Vendor Compass and other IRM Navigator research by visiting wheelhouseadvisors.com.
The ability to understand this transformation, it's really your shortcut to being well-informed in this complex space.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
That wraps up another episode of the Risk Wheelhouse. Thank you for spending time with us at Wheelhouse Advisors today. We hope you found the conversation insightful and actionable for your organization's risk strategies. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. If you're looking for more in-depth analysis and thought leadership on risk technology, be sure to visit the Risk Tech Journal at therisktechjournal.com. It's your go-to source for comprehensive articles, expert interviews, and the latest trends shaping the industry. Subscribe today to stay informed. For any inquiries or feedback, please contact us directly at info@wheelhouseadvisors.com, or feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and x.com and share your thoughts or suggestions for future topics. Visit wheelhouseadvisors.com for more information and resources. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, navigate wisely.